Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a preview and predictions video, and I'm not alone today. I have brought along a very good friend of mine. His name is Kyle Angus, and he also wrestles on the independent scene. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you look him up on YouTube at
anywhere, as in D2W Pro Wrestling, ECPW Pro Wrestling, Ace Pro Wrestling, IWA. There's plenty of promotions that have allowed me to surface on to their shows, and I'd like to thank you for having me on today.
Of course, man. And as always, you know, like I said, check him out, Kyle Angus. You can find any clips of him on YouTube, and it'd be highly appreciated if you help out a friend by supporting him, by just going out and, you know, supporting your local indie talent, man, because as we know, NXT is where it's at as far as WWE goes, and we all know where those guys came from. They all came from the indie scene, so go out there and support your local indie promotions. Anyway, we're going to get into this preview and predictions, and I don't even know where to fucking start with this show because it's fucking god-awful. I guess we'll start with the pre-show bullshit, which is
Wait, before anything, you think the card is awful?
The whole card is not awful. When you look at it, it looks good on paper, but as far as the build that we've gotten on Raw, especially on Raw, on SmackDown it hasn't been so bad, but on Raw...
We've had some build. Here's the thing. There's a couple stories that take over what you need. Like, the Revival just won the fucking tag title, so they don't have much build at all going into their match.
They don't have any, but they don't even get proper... They get jobber entrances, and they're the fucking tag team champions.
But,
and
like,
they get
sometimes you
jobber entrances.
Like, there's been build-ups like fucking Becky Lynch and fucking Ronda Rousey since fucking Survivor Series.
Which was a lot more interesting in November than it is right now.
No, I think it's...
More interesting now.
I don't think it's more interesting.
I think they've overdone some of it, including what happened on Raw.
To an extent, but that's what you got to keep having... That's what you have to keep having happen to have the viewers be like, oh, okay, what's going to happen at Mania now? It's something to keep the fans drawn in. It's okay, some shit they're not gonna work on TV, so like fuck it, like let them just kayfabe get arrested, and boom, we'll see where we go from there.
I was a little beyond kayfabe. I mean, did you see some of those officers? They looked like they literally just came out of fucking Spirit Halloween and bought your local fucking cop uniform.
Back to the local indie promotions. Most of them are independent workers and supporting the race.
They were.
That's all I gotta say.
Alright, so without Kyle constantly moving back and forth on my drum chair that keeps squeaking, which is probably coming through the audio, so just ignore us on that. We'll get into our first match. We'll not take too much time on these bullshit matches. We'll save most of our talking for the bigger matches, but we'll start off with the men's battle royal, which is obviously the main focus has been the fucking Braun Strowman with those two goons from the Saturday Night Live thing.
That's gonna be the biggest thing. They're gonna get thrown out right away. I hate celebrity fucking bullshit. Like, that just makes the card unsatisfying.
So,
like,
who do you see winning it, since we're not gonna spend too much time on it? I see Braun Strowman win. If it's not Braun Strowman, I don't know what the whole point of this nonsense was. The only thing I can see those two dumbasses eliminating themselves or getting eliminated, and then Braun Strowman eliminates himself, chasing them up the ramp to get these hands. Which is, by the way, getting fucking cringe. I'm tired of hearing it.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Maybe they could work an angle with that during the show, you know. He's chasing them down for the entire show, and then finally, at the end, he puts them through a fucking table. That would get a pop.
That's true.
Don't you think?
But no matter who wins this match, it's not going to do anything for whoever wins, because it did nothing for Cesaro.
Did nothing for Baron
Did nothing
Corbin.
for Big Show. It did nothing for Baron Corbin, and it did nothing for... Is there only 3 winners? I don't even remember who the 4th winner was. So, I mean... Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So fucking Braun Strowman, that's who our predicted winner is. Moving on.
Matt Hardy won the last one.
Matt Hardy didn't win a...
Did he?
Oh my god. Oh, he did. He won last year. That's right, because Bray Wyatt helped him. Oh yeah. All right. Well, what did it do for him? He hasn't even been on fucking TV.
I know. Back in SmackDown, that's fucking one of the Hardy Boys.
And by the way, it's a damn shame that people like the Hardy Boys, Andrade, Cien Almas, not just Andrade, which they like to try and act like it is, and who else is in that fucking battle royal that doesn't belong there? There's somebody else in there that doesn't belong in there.
There's a lot of filler spots in there.
But yeah. So I wouldn't mind Andrade winning. That's who I want to win. I just don't think he's going to win. I think Braun Strowman's going to win. So we're going to move on here, and we're going to move on to the women's battle royal. Asuka's the only fucking one that makes sense here. She did just lose a SmackDown Women's title.
You gotta still make her look strong, build her up, kind of. You
Exactly.
want to keep her. You just want to keep her momentum building at that point.
Exactly,
honestly.
and hopefully, I wish they would put something on the line for these battle royals. There's nothing on the line besides stupid looking trophies and nothing else. If the winner got like a future title match, it'd be a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the whole thing about it's just a memorial battle royal. You get the fucking trophy, okay, you win, cool. It's not like the Royal Rumble. You can't have that twice a year. Like the greatest Royal Rumble, that's the stupidest fucking shit. You get a green fucking belt, okay, for what?
That we've never seen again since. That Braun Strowman
Exactly.
probably threw in the dumpster as soon as he got home. All right, so what else do we have that's on the pre-show? I probably should bring up the match card on my phone so I can go through these matches in order.
Isn't it the Revival?
I know. Yeah, that's probably going to be on the pre-show. So we got the Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Fucking Ryder, man.
So another match that has absolutely zero build. This is what I'm talking about. Zero build, dude. How are you supposed to get?
Well, if you were really paying attention, you see that they do some stuff, some little storytelling between Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. You know, Kurt Hawkins is.
And when was
whatever?
And when was the last time they were on? 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah. So what?
This is a 3-hour show, and Colin Jost and Michael Che guy, where Braun Strowman got a 20 plus minute segment on a moment of for a piss break with Alexa Bliss. That segment was like 25 minutes long, and it didn't need to be. When you could have just had a small clip of that.
Exactly, you could have done that.
Also, Mojo Rawley also won a battle royal, and now he's talking to a fucking mirror. So there you go on that.
Oh my god.
So as far as the Revival tag team match goes, I honestly see crowning new tag champions in Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. I mean, that's where they're going with it. At least that's what I think they're going with it. If they don't do it today, or they don't do it tomorrow, I should say, then they'll probably do it in the future. But if they're going to try and draw a big pop out of this, the WrestleMania crowd is usually a smarky crowd, and that's where you're going to get the biggest pop. So,
and you're in Jersey too.
So
that's
exactly, New Jersey, not the shadow of New York, like WWE likes to say,
nah.
where they constantly say the shadow of fucking New York.
Jersey's got the fucking biggest independent scene around, and they're the fucking greatest fucking fans.
Damn straight. All right, so moving on here, we'll just go into the next tag team title match here. What do we got? We got the Usos versus the Bar versus Rusev and Nakamura versus fucking Aleister Black and Ricochet. Honestly,
Black and Ricochet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Black and Ricochet just because they've had two tag team title matches now in the last 5-6 days. They lost to the Revival by count out, and they lost last night to the War Raiders in a fucking fantastic opening match of NXT.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I'm saying if you are planning to give them a push, just you don't have to put them over for the NXT tag titles. Maybe it's just they are ready for those fucking SmackDown tag titles.
I think they're ready.
That would put them over really well.
It would, especially. It would be better if it was an elimination match. That way we can see a little bit of them versus the...
No. If it's an elimination match, it's... You know what? You need that kind of what if it was one-on-one kind of deal.
I hear you.
You don't want to do that right now. You want to fucking... Then, once they go over, then you want to build a fucking another tag team and be like, then you work a fucking rivalry. After this, you could... If they fucking go over tomorrow, that you could fucking just... have the Usos turn heel again and just work Aleister Black and Ricochet. That would be a good feud.
Honestly, if I was booking WrestleMania, the SmackDown Tag Team title match would have been built up fucking 4 weeks ago at least, and it would have been between the returning fucking Hardy Boys, who are a team as brothers, and then you got the Usos, who are also brothers. And you know how the Usos, their main thing is how they're a better tag team because they're twins and they're close and they're brothers, and that's why and they really are one of the best tag teams in the entire fucking world. But could you imagine the Usos versus the Hardys at WrestleMania? How much better that would have been?
Not this day and age. I think back like
Well,
towards like
Matt
2000,
Hardy looks the best he's looked in
2001.
fucking years.
Yeah, but it's this thing is that his body's taking a toll, and it's
Yeah, well, that's why they wrestle a different style. I'm not telling him Jeff Hardy to go jump off the Titantrons.
I'm saying Jeff Hardy could still work 100%. Like I'm not saying he can't work, not at all. But like it would be a better match between the Usos and the Hardys per se if you
It'd be
had the 2000 2001 Hardy Boys.
Well, yeah, well, I
It's a
mean,
more intense kind of fucking way they were working, and it would just be phenomenal, honestly.
It would be, but that's not what we're getting. We're getting this fatal
I know we're getting this fatal 4-way. I know.
And I don't know why they couldn't have added the Hardy Boys to this. I don't even know what fucking show the Hardy Boys are on, because the last time I checked, Matt was supposed to be on Raw and Jeff was on SmackDown, but I guess now they're both on SmackDown, so they could have technically added them to this match, and not Rusev and Nakamura, who absolutely have nothing going for them right now. They have no momentum. They killed Rusev Day. They killed Nakamura's push last year at WrestleMania, and there's
Honestly,
no reason for them to be in it.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that they didn't even put Nakamura over for the title. That's the thing.
He lost to Jinder Mahal, just so you remember, at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, okay. Like, you're going to deep push this guy.
That's where his push really just took a fucking nosedive. When you lose to Jinder Mahal,
and you can tell, like,
in the second biggest show of the year,
you can tell by the way that Nakamura's working that he just doesn't give a fuck.
Exactly. You can see it in his face. He gives no fucks, and I'm not going to guarantee it because money talks sometimes, but when his contract is up, I wouldn't be surprised if he either goes back to New Japan or if he signs with AEW.
No, he's probably going to go back to New Japan, honestly.
He might, but I mean, he already did move here, so I mean, and he did move to Florida, of all places, and that's where fucking AEW is pretty much being based out of, Jacksonville, so we'll see what happens with that, but I predict Aleister Black and Ricochet becoming your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Well, we might as well stay on the fucking tag team shtick, since there's one more match that involves tag team titles, and that's the women's tag team titles, which again, we have another fucking multi-person match, which is Multi-Man Mania running wild every single year, and I hate that they do this, because they do this just so they can get everybody on the card, and I don't know how you feel about this, but in my opinion, I don't think everybody deserves to be on a WrestleMania card. No, I understand that it's probably depressing sitting back there and watching from catering and watching everybody else compete, but if you're not relevant on television, then you don't belong at WrestleMania. No, and that's what takes away from WrestleMania, is everybody's on the card.
That's where they fuck up doing the whole celebrity things, because those celebrity spots you can easily just give to your other guys. It's Mania. It's not talk show mania.
Exactly, and it's oversaturated with fucking matches upon matches because they have to put everybody on the card. I'd be happy. WrestleMania 17 was my favorite WrestleMania of all time, and I think that Mania might have had 8 matches on the card. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm going to assume it was about 8 matches. I can't think. Yeah, you had the fucking tag team title match, the Triple Threat TLC. You had Undertaker, Triple H, Austin, and Rock. You had the Gimmick Battle Royal match.
Triple Threat Hardcore. You had the
Intercontinental title match between William Regal and Jericho. So that's 6. You had fuck me, right? You had Kurt Angle and Benoit. That's 7.
You said Triple H.
And then I said that already. And then you had Kane and he was in the Triple Threat match. Yeah. Shit. And then the women's title match between Chyna and Ivory. And I can't think of another one. So that was 8.
McMahon and Vince McMahon.
So 9 matches.
Yeah.
And that was right. And it was a 4-hour show, and I think that's where WrestleMania should be. I understand it's WrestleMania, it should be a little bit longer, but it's being rumored to be. The pre-show starts at 5, and the regular show starts at 7, and it's being rumored to go to 12:30, almost 1 in the morning. That's too long of a show for just wrestling. I'm sorry. I'm a big wrestling fan, obviously, but there's no reason for it to be that long. That's 8 hours, 8.5 hours of wrestling.
I mean, with the pre-show, mostly you get a lot of talking. Like, it's not match after match after match, and like, I think there is enough build-up to where you can tell a few stories. Honestly, you can tell a story between Styles and Orton.
You mean like backstage, like a little segment or something, or like a quick interview?
Segment, not even like that. Like, I'm just talking like promos before the match.
But then you have to add in the promos too, the video packages, which are usually like 2-3 minutes long.
Yeah, and you can also do backstage shit. Like,
and you got Elias too is supposed to come out. I mean, if I can cut out 6 matches from this card, I would. I would cut out the pre-show entirely. The pre-show would not exist. It would start at 6, and it would like get everybody hyped up. Maybe have 1 or 2 matches on it, and end at 7, and then the show would go from 7 to 11, maybe 11:30, if they need to run it a little bit later. But anyway, let's move on here. We got the women's tag team. We're getting way off topic. Talking about WrestleMania 17 over here.
Bayley, Sasha Banks.
We got Bayley and Sasha Banks. We're not going to mention their tag team name because it's god awful. The Boston Hug Connection. We're not going to mention that. That's the only time you're ever going to hear it on this channel. I swear to God, I'm never going to mention that tag team name again because it's god awful. So we got them. Bayley's, we got Natalya and Beth Phoenix. We got Nia Jax and Tamina, and we got who the fuck are we forgetting? So we got Nia Jax and Tamina. We got Sasha and Bayley. We got Natalya and is it just a triple threat?
No.
Oh, and the Iconics.
Yeah.
No, they're very forgettable because they're also god awful. I don't know why they have some of the fanfare they have. I don't think they're that good in the ring, and I think they're quite annoying on the fucking microphone.
No, it's. If I gotta say a team, and if anybody that deserves it right now, it's definitely Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
I mean,
I could see Sasha Banks and Bayley retaining.
That's probably the sentimental favorite. Beth Phoenix and Natalya. I mean, honestly, Natalya is about as boring as watching paint dry.
Yeah, and Beth Phoenix is just.
Beth Phoenix she still has it. I said it on my Raw review that I actually wanted Beth Phoenix to come back eventually, and I don't like.
Review?
Yeah, I had a Raw review.
Review, yeah.
This past Monday, yeah, go watch review, it. Yeah, Raw review. So anyway. I always wanted Beth Phoenix to come back because I think she would fit in quite well with the women's division now compared to when she was wrestling, because she was one of the legit wrestlers back then. But I just don't like the way she's being brought back into this the tag team titles for the women right now are, in my opinion, extremely irrelevant.
I mean,
they don't feel important.
That's where you got to build importance, and that's probably why.
And that's where creative comes in.
But that's probably why Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to retain, just to make those tag titles look strong. You gotta have the champions that are gonna be like, okay, these are my fucking belts.
I agree, and they need to be more of a focus, and on your fucking weekly television, which they haven't been. So you're going with Sasha and Bayley to win?
I'm gonna go with
to retain. I'm gonna go with the Iconics. I don't want them to win.
Really?
But I think WWE's.
That's
gonna.
Out of left field.
It is out of left field. I know. You know, fucking Brett Gardner's throwing it home and they ain't making it. Then the Iconics are probably gonna win.
No.
So
I just don't see it, just because if we're saying what we're saying right now, I just don't like seeing too many title changes on a card.
As long as Nia Jax and Tamina don't win, I don't care, because Tamina's got awful and Nia Jax is in every fucking match she's in has something to do with the championship, and I don't know why, because she hasn't done anything to earn it except for being related to The Rock.
And it's just because she's bigger. That's why. That's where you're gonna have the sentimental. You're probably gonna have Beth Phoenix versus Nia Jax somewhere down the road.
Well, I hope so. I wouldn't mind seeing Beth Phoenix versus Nia Jax. I mean, not that I like Nia Jax in the ring, but I mean, it would make for a cool moment for Beth Phoenix, I think. But we'll see what happens with that. We're gonna move on here to our next match, which we got. What the fuck do we got going on next here? Apparently, you wouldn't know it. Based on, unless you watch 205 Live, but there is a Cruiserweight Championship match at WrestleMania between Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese, which is obviously going to take place in the pre-show.
Tony Nese. Tony Nese is from New York, baby. They gave him fucking...
They gave it to Buddy Murphy in his home country. Yeah, I understand that.
Nope, Tony Nese.
So you're going with Tony... I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy retaining because, I mean, I like Tony Nese. I think he's fantastic, but Buddy Murphy's on... like another level, right? Like, this guy should be on Monday Night Raw competing against guys like Seth Rollins. No, Buddy Murphy.
Well, Buddy Murphy, I think the same about Tony Nese. I've seen
They should. Remember when the draft happened and the whole Raw was all excited about we have the cruiserweights? That's what makes Raw different. Where the fuck are they now? They're not even. I haven't seen a cruiserweight from 205 Live on Raw in about 8 months.
That's the thing about, you have to separate every single brand. Like, you have fucking, like, you...
Monday Night Raw can easily put 2 cruiserweight matches in place of these fucking bullshit filler segments, like a moment for a piss break.
Here, you can fucking put 205 Live on Thursdays.
It should be on right after NXT. It should take place right after NXT. That's the type of crowd that's going to appreciate those kind of wrestlers.
Yeah, no, but like, you put that on in the same place, but you don't put it on right the day after. Right after the time. You're going to put it on...
Why not?
You're going to put it on different days.
You don't have to.
No, just so the
Cruiserweights
have their own day. Like, this is the Cruiserweights day. This is NXT's day. SmackDown, Raw.
See, that's too many days.
How's that too many days?
You already got
look forward
Raw.
for something.
You already got Monday,
people-
Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah,
You
but how
really
many
needed a
people-
third day or
but how
fourth
many
day,
people
and then you got pay-per-views
religiously-
once a month.
How many people religiously watch 205?
Nobody, and they would watch it more if it was on right after NXT, because they would grab the NXT audience who's already watching NXT, who's already into that kind of wrestling.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from there.
If you put it on Thursday, then people have to take another hour out of their fucking day on another day to watch 205 Live, when they can just watch it on Wednesday right after. And it can literally just bleed right into fucking 205 as soon as NXT goes off the air.
That's a 2-hour show for the day.
And then it would be the 2-hour show for the day, exactly. You can even have 205 Live come on before NXT. It doesn't even really matter whether it starts at 7 or it starts at 8 or it starts at 10. That'd probably be better to start at 8, because earlier time slots are better. 10 o'clock is a terrible time slot. Just ask TNA. Anyway, so we're going to move on here. Impact, TNA, it doesn't really matter. Nobody watches it. We're going to go on to the next match, which is going to be The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This is one of the matches, one of the few matches.
50 on it. I don't know who, like.
Well, the way The Miz has been built up, taking out fucking 15 security guards and then single-handedly defeating Sanity on SmackDown, which I don't know if you watched SmackDown, but he single-handedly beat Sanity in a 3-on-1 handicap match.
Honestly, probably I would have to go with The Miz.
I'm going to go with The Miz too, but this is actually one of the few matches.
I want Shane McMahon to go over.
Do you really?
I do want Shane McMahon to go over it. Bill, honestly, just like how Triple H went over Sting,
which never should have happened.
Even
though we all seen Uncle Trips winning.
No, yeah, but that's what they want to do. They want to show that the power figure is in control, and he has every ounce. You could still work this fucking rivalry out. You could,
but how many times have we seen the whole authority figure angle? Getting a little played out.
You can. I mean, I don't think it's played out entirely. I think you could do different things with the gimmick itself. The authority is the gimmick. It's just different aspects of it that you want to go.
I mean, it hasn't been done right since Austin and McMahon. Well, Daniel Bryan was actually really good, but it really hasn't been done very good since Austin McMahon. And they're still trying to live off of that feud because it was one of the best feuds in the history of professional wrestling. But I just don't know how much longer this feud can go on and keep people's interest. But I will give it that it has been one of the few matches on the card that has been
has the most build-up.
Aside from a few things that I didn't like The Miz taking out 15 people when his whole career he's been a cowardly heel. Yeah. And now he's all of a sudden the fucking people gave him the nickname the King of Softcore.
You want to know what's funny? The last time we went to Mania, he was faced against Wade Barrett.
And a pre-show. Yes, and a terrible match. All right, so I'm going to go with The Miz on this. You're going to go with
Miz, but wanting Shane.
All right, so we're gonna move on from here. I'll say one last thing though. I do see Shane doing something crazy, and this is why I think the Miz is gonna win. I think he's gonna go for some crazy fucking diving off of something, and he's gonna miss like he always does because he never connects with anything crazy he does, unless it's the Big Show at Backlash. And and I think that's how the Miz is gonna win. Shane McMahon's gonna fuck up, trying to wow the crowd.
Or Shane McMahon could wow the crowd and actually hit the move, and that's the one time he hits that big move.
Could be.
Shane McMahon needs a big victory at WrestleMania more than The Miz does.
Well, Shane McMahon doesn't even need a match at WrestleMania. Me personally, I'm tired of the McMahons being on WrestleMania.
I think, honestly,
I think you're just a Shane McMahon mark.
I'm not a Shane McMahon mark.
Don't lie to me.
I just think Shane has been, he's built himself in a different aspect other than professional wrestling to where he can be one. He's not going to be the best in the world. I don't think he's the best in the world by any means.
He's not even the best on SmackDown.
But he could still show that he could be a fucking Ken Shamrock type of guy.
Alright, so that's who you're going to go with. I still don't think Shane McMahon, or any McMahon for that matter, needs to be on the card, but to each his own, man.
No, 100%. It just makes stories interesting, too.
So we're going to move on, and we're going to hit up the United States Championship match, which is Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio.
Samoa Joe, big time. That's not even a question of doubt next.
Well, here's the thing. So, Rey Mysterio on Raw, for some reason, was in the main event on a... Well, now, Rey Mysterio being in the main event's fine. Baron Corbin being in the main event on a go-home show for WrestleMania is absolutely fucking mind-baffling. And apparently, Rey Mysterio hurt himself in that match. So it's questionable right now whether or not this match is even going to happen. To tell you the God's honest truth, this show is so long. I mean, it would suck for Joe unless they give him a different opponent. But if this match doesn't happen, I'm not going to be that upset about it.
No,
It's not really a match I mean, the match itself isn't bad. It's not one of the matches I would cut off if I could. I would cut off a lot other shittier matches, like some of the tag team title matches or the battle royals. But
you can also have Joe come out and be like, "This is my fucking first WrestleMania, and I don't have an opponent."
And he does an open challenge.
Does an open challenge. Boom.
And then who comes out?
John Cena.
That's true. It could be John Cena.
Or The Undertaker, because The Undertaker has been seen.
The Undertaker fighting for the United States belt,
You don't know. He's put it up to any challenge. Hey, man, I'm old. I want to win the U.S. title.
He would cut a decent promo. I'll give him that. But if this match does happen, I'm going to go with... Oh, I think you needed that. All right, so if we're going to go with... If this match does happen, I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio winning and then reigniting his feud with... Dude, Samoa Joe needs to win, but I don't see him winning just because he's lost 3 times in this build.
He just needs...
And Andrade should be in this match. Just going to throw that out there.
He just needs to be... This is how he gets his build, by winning his WrestleMania match.
We'll see what happens. I'm going to go with Samoa Joe or I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio if it happens. You're going to go with Joe?
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to one of the most eagerly anticipated matches of the night. My God, I can't wait for this one. Bobby Lashley, also known as Bobby Trashley, versus Finn Balor as the Demon. Now here, yes, for like the 5th time. Yes, exactly. 15th time, even better. So here,
4 handicap matches later.
Here's the thing about this match that pisses me off more than anything, right? So you had last year's WrestleMania, right? 34 triple threat match between Balor, Rollins, and The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. And Finn Balor felt no reason to bring out the Demon for that, right?
Well,
I know because he lost. It doesn't matter. The Demon has lost before.
Oh yeah, true.
I think he's lost twice, but that was in NXT. Also, you had just at the Royal Rumble this year, Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar for the universe, which is the biggest title that in Vince McMahon's eyes, the biggest title in the company for some odd reason. And he didn't feel the need to bring out the Demon for Brock Lesnar, but he feels the need to bring out the Demon for a 5th rematch with Bobby Lashley.
Okay, I understand why you're upset at that. I 100% do. But in the same sense, I think that it was the right way to build into it. They've been going at it for a while, and it's like,
it's been boring as all hell.
I mean, and Balor just wants to end it. This is how you end it at WrestleMania.
I mean, it is how you end it. And it better fucking end, because I don't want to see this anymore. I don't even want to see it now. The only thing that I'm excited for is just how cool the entrance looks at WrestleMania, because we haven't seen the Demon get a WrestleMania entrance yet, since he's been on the main roster. So, obviously, if he's coming out the Demon, he ain't losing, so I'm going with Finn Balor, you're going with Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley needs to just get out of the company, period, because he's boring as hell.
No, Bobby Lashley just needs his old theme song back. He has to get rid of his... What the fuck is his name?
Fucking Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Drop Leo Rush. You can still be a big heel, but you know what? You gotta do it differently. Do it like how you did it in TNA. That was fucking golden.
Apparently, people said he was going to TNA. I didn't see anything everybody did in TNA, but
I saw it.
It definitely didn't transfer over to WWE.
Well, because they don't allow him to do it. They only allow him to do the fucking, hey, look at my ass.
Yeah, look at my ass. Yeah, I know. That's a great gimmick. All right, moving on to a match that I actually do care about, without the sarcasm, actually, is a no-holds-barred match with Triple H's career on the line between Triple H and Batista.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
So, now see, it's funny for memes, but when you got a build-up coming in and the Triple H is cutting a promo and he's singing Spice Girl songs, it's not what I want to see on my television. Maybe it has its place, but... Man, you really got to stop moving in that chair, man.
I know. It's just I don't have it back. That's why.
I know. I hear you. But when it comes to the WWE recently, everything about their buildups. Jesus, I can't speak English today. So it always has some like corny, cheesy factor, and I just want a feud that is just serious for once. No cheesy bullshit with Triple H coming out, he's singing Spice Girl songs. I don't personally want to see it. I didn't find it that funny. I found it funny when I seen the meme on Facebook, but it didn't need to translate over to Monday Night Raw. And that's all I got to say about as far as the build-up. As far as that, besides that, the build-up has been pretty decent. Mm-hmm. Batista came out on Raw, and he cut a quick promo where he just told Triple H to kiss his ass, and he showed a video package of him pretty much destroying Triple H in his whole career. That's all he needed. Yeah. That's all he needed. He didn't need it. Triple H is the one that needs to prove to us that he could beat Batista, but that's not what I want to see. I want to see Triple H lose this match, and I want Batista to win because I think it's time for Triple H to hang it up. We don't need our obligatory Triple H match every WrestleMania. They haven't been getting any better.
No.
They've actually been getting worse.
It's been the same old
His match
shit.
against Seth Rollins was not good. I don't care what anybody says. It was 30 minutes of decent wrestling.
Decent wrestling. 100%.
32 was god-awful with Roman Reigns. 31 was okay.
But you're wrestling a fucking 50-year-old Sting. It's not going to be good. No,
but it was okay because they had
NWO and DX coming out. That's the only reason why it was okay.
No,
because
I know.
other than that, it would have been just normal.
And this is why I keep saying Triple H.
30 was the last
to,
time he had a really good match.
With Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan pretty much carried that match.
29 was Lesnar.
Yeah, but that was boring.
Yeah,
and then before that, all his other matches before that with The Undertaker and Sheamus was okay and blah, blah, blah going back. I don't want to get completely off topic, but I mean, we don't need any more Triple H matches after this year, in my opinion. Just hang it up, let Batista win, and let Batista get what he wants, and he wants to go on an actual run, like a 1-year run, and then end it.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't mind seeing that because a lot of people don't like Batista for some odd reason. I think Batista was great. I think his Hollywood gimmick was fucking fantastic.
And you know what? He can work a lot.
He can work a lot of smaller guys, and they can bring him to a good match. And he can
Braun Strowman.
He can work Braun Strowman. He can work Brock Lesnar.
Fuck no, I don't want to see
Batista and Lesnar? Why not? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Well, anyway, we're getting off topic. All right, so we totally got off topic there, talking about Batista and Triple H. So we're going to move on here, and we're going to go over to Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Now, unfortunately, you guys didn't see it, but we recorded this part already, but for some reason it didn't record, so we're going to do it again here. As far as who I see winning this match, I see probably Roman Reigns winning, but like I was saying before when we didn't have it recording, I do see them possibly giving it to Drew McIntyre just because I think he needs he needs the momentum build. Roman Reigns can lose 20 matches and it's not going to destroy his character, but a couple of big losses from Drew McIntyre is going to completely take the fans' interest away from him.
It's not even going to take the fans' interest. It's just going to take the ultimate heel away from him. It's going to take away his what's the word I'm trying to
his dominance. He's been dominating the entire Shield. Dean Ambrose is pretty much gone.
He went over Seth
in
Rollins.
storyline because of Drew McIntyre. He went over Rollins, and now he needs to go over Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He needs to take out the Shield. That would make him a pretty intimidating factor storyline wise if he's taking out the entire Shield one by one.
Yeah.
So I do see them probably giving it to Roman Reigns because it's fucking Roman Reigns and they can't help themselves. But I'm hoping Drew McIntyre somehow pulls it out, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens at WrestleMania. So
brother.
So
going on
moving on. We got AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Like I was saying before we got cut off again, this has been the one feud that has been properly built up all the way. No cheesiness, no cheesy fucking bullshit lines, no corny shit. Just really good promos one-on-one between an indie guy and a homegrown WWE talent, like you mentioned.
Yeah, third generation superstar for the fact of the matter.
We've seen on SmackDown, we've seen the Phenomenal Forum counted into the RKO, and because of that reason, a lot of people see AJ Styles probably going over. But like I was saying before, I see them going for a RKO.
Not even
coming.
Styles trying to go for the 450 splash.
Yes, and yeah, he goes for the springboard 450, and I think Orton's going to try and turn it into an RKO. And if they pull that spot off,
it'd be the greatest RKO.
Then it would be probably the greatest RKO, and I'll be perfectly fine with Randy Orton going over. And I don't mind Randy Orton going over as much like a John Cena because John Cena never fucking put talent over. Randy Orton is not exactly on the same level as Cena. He's not far off, but at least Orton can wrestle.
No, Orton can definitely wrestle 100%. But Orton's put over some people.
Oh, he has.
Put over Daniel Bryan. Orton's put over fucking. Orton's put over Cena 1,000 fucking times.
Did he really put over Daniel Bryan though?
I think so.
When did he put over Daniel Bryan?
WrestleMania 30. In a triple threat match.
That's true.
He dropped his title to Daniel.
And he never got a rematch.
No.
By the way, which I still found quite odd that you lose your title in a triple threat match and you didn't get a rematch, and that was back when rematches were a huge thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly think Randy Orton's going to win this match. I don't who I want to win. Probably Styles, just because it would be cool to see Styles, beat a longtime WWE guy on their biggest stage. But I do see Orton going over, and I'm not going to be mad if he does. If they do it with that 450 RKO counter.
I mean, they can still do that in the match,
And Styles kick out of it.
Or Styles just
Please,
goes out of the
don't
ring.
do that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Styles kick out of that kind of RKO.
No, that would just bring down the value of the RKO.
Sure would.
Styles roll out of the ring.
You could have him roll out of the ring, but I think on a spot like that, that has to be you can't get a bigger moment than that to close out a match.
Yeah, it's a big freak out.
It is a big freak out moment. Who do you got going over though?
I want to say Styles.
You're going with Styles? All right, he's going with Styles. I'm going with Orton. What else do we got left here on this fucking card?
Kofi and Daniel Bryan.
You know what? I want to save that. I don't want to save that for last, but you want to go with Kofi and Daniel Bryan first? All right, we'll go with Kofi and Daniel Bryan first. We'll let you call the shots.
I'm just trying to think what main event, like how they're gonna book the card, really.
Well, we know what the main event's gonna be.
Well, I'm just saying. Like,
but as far as the other match orders,
in
I have no idea.
I want to say Kofi.
I'm gonna go with Kofi too.
Kofi deserves it, 100%.
Not only does he deserve it,
the build-up is amazing.
The build-up has been really good. The only thing I didn't like was the gauntlet match where he beat Orton, Joe, the ex-tag team champions in the bar, and, well, he didn't beat Rowan. Rowan just got himself DQ'd, which I thought was probably the best part of the match. But the fact that he got chokeslammed through a table, thrown into a ring post, beat with a fucking steel chair, and then beat a fresh Randy Orton. That's the problem I had with this whole thing, was he beat a fresh Randy Orton after being completely obliterated by fucking 4 other guys. And he beat a clean he beat Samoa Joe clean, who is also your United States champion.
But you also...
I did not like that.
I mean, it just does a lot for the story, honestly.
It does, and...
It's the storytelling aspect. Kofi Kingston's on a fucking high, and he's been riding that high since Elimination Chamber.
He sure has. And I do hope he wins this match. I think it would be a feel-good moment. I don't think he's going to have a long title reign, even if he does win.
No, I give him 2-3 months. Honestly,
probably.
For his first title reign.
I would see him probably losing at the pay-per-view after, because they're going to Saudi Arabia again right after Mania. So Daniel Bryan, he didn't go there last year, and he's not going to go there this year. And they're not going to have their WWE champion not on the card, so that's why I think Kofi's 100% winning this match, just because Daniel Bryan's not going to be at the Saudi Arabia show. And you can't have a show like that and not have your WWE champion on it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons that pretty much in my mind solidifies Kofi winning this.
But Kofi deserves it.
He does deserve it, and I hope he wins, because I'm going to mark out. The only problem I have with Kofi is I don't want to see a world champion coming out and throwing pancakes in the crowd. That whole shit is overstated.
It's over, man.
It's overstated its welcome.
I don't think so.
The pancake shit is too childish, man.
If anything,
I don't mind the other stuff they do, but
you'd have to break up the New Day.
I think that's what's coming.
To make this title reign serious, you have to break up the New Day. And
Daniel Bryan cut
back SOS.
Did you see Daniel Bryan? I don't want to bring back. I don't mind him coming out with that entrance song for WrestleMania for nostalgic reasons, but I kind of think he needs to get a new theme song. Period, because I do see the New Day breaking up, because Daniel Bryan cut a promo on SmackDown, and he was talking about the fans pretty much grabbing all of his positivity and then they'll throw him to the curb, and I kind of think it was foreshadowing him talking about the New Day members, Xavier Woods and Big E. I think they're going to turn on Kofi. Probably not at WrestleMania, obviously, but possibly. I think it's going to happen at the SmackDown after Mania. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty big moment as far as for SmackDown goes, because the New Day's been together for 5 years, and they've been a pretty fucking solid fucking tag team. They've been hugely popular for their entire run.
Yeah, but where do you see Xavier Woods
and Big E? I see them just keeping their tag, just becoming a tag team.
Yeah.
Like they'll stick together. I don't know if they're gonna call themselves the New Day. They might, but I do see them dropping Kofi Kingston. If it's not a Tuesday SmackDown, it's coming soon. I think it's coming soon. I do think it's coming somewhere down the road. And then it would probably lead to like a Kofi and Big E or Xavier Woods match at SummerSlam. But again, we're getting off topic. That'll be for another day.
So,
But as far as this match, I see Kofi going over.
Yep.
I don't think Daniel Bryan has a chance of going over, especially with him not being most likely at Saudi Arabia. So, we're going to move on here.
Brock Lesnar
and Seth Rollins. A match that I was kind of interested in after the Royal Rumble, but it quickly lost my interest with Lesnar never being on the show, and then they had Seth Rollins play second fiddle again to a returning Roman Reigns to form the Shield again for like the 17th millionth time.
Yeah.
And, after that, I was kind of over it. And their little build-up that they've had since, aside from what happened on Raw, was all right. But aside from that, the build has been... It's been lame.
But that on Raw just degrades Rollins a little bit.
It did. He needed 2 low blows to go over in that segment. And he can't do that at WrestleMania.
No.
And the last time he didn't use a low blow, he got F5 6 times.
Yeah.
So how Rollins, in anyone with a brain's mind, how he has a chance is he doesn't. And that's my opinion. I mean, he got demolished on Raw.
It makes sense if you want to go realistic-wise.
Exactly. And like I said, I don't think Rollins is the guy to take the title off of Lesnar. I think that guy is Drew McIntyre. That's my opinion. I hope that's where it goes. And if that's where it goes, then I'll accept Lesnar being the Universal Champion for another whatever until SummerSlam, I guess, because that's probably where it's going to lead to. But
Again.
I don't want Lesnar to stay the champion because it would be nice to have the world title back on Raw on a weekly basis.
Yep.
But
After
like again, I
years.
don't see Lesnar losing. If he didn't lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania last year, I don't think he's losing to Rollins. Not to mention there's rumors of Rollins having a back injury and taking time off. But that's just how I see it going. I don't see it going any other way. And the match is probably only going to be about 10 minutes long. I don't see it going over 10 minutes. It's a Lesnar match.
12 minutes maybe.
12 minutes maybe. It might be a good match. I'm sure there's going to be a few moments where you think Rollins is going to definitely win. But again, I don't see him winning unless there's maybe some kind of fuck finish. The referee gets knocked out and he cheats and he uses the low blow or something. But I don't see I don't see him winning. I really don't. And that brings us
to the main event.
I believe it brings us to the main event. I didn't miss any matches, did I?
No.
I'm just going through the card real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I sure did not. Oh, I did. How could we forget this match? Kurt Angle's retirement match.
Oh my lord!
My goodness. Well, you know how we can forget about it because it's Baron fucking Corbin in it.
But guess what? You know how it's gonna be memorable though. Because Corbin's gonna go over 100%.
No. That better not happen.
Corbin's over.
First of all,
100%.
I'm praying to God that something happens during Corbin's entrance, where he gets attacked by John Cena, and John Cena says, "Fuck this. This is what the fans want."
Cool. Yeah,
that would be cool, and that's what that would get a huge pop from the crowd. That would be the first time I think in John Cena's career
he would get a pop.
That he would get a huge pop since he's when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics, he was pretty popular, but since then he hasn't really been getting pops.
But if you do give Corbin that victory though,
how does it do anything? How many people have beaten Kurt Angle already?
It just pushes him as a heel.
It pushes him a heel, but he's already a decent heel as far as that. But first of all, he's got to stop dressing like he works at Olive Garden.
Yeah, that's.
He needs to go back to his old gimmick. He's got the entrance, he's got the theme song, he's got the finisher, he's got the look. He needs the attire, and he needs to stop being boring and he's boring in the ring right now. He is quite boring.
Same shit all the time.
But
I gotta say Corbin though.
If the match happens, I mean, Kurt Angle beat Samoa Joe. He beat Chad Gable. He beat Apollo Crews. And then his matches with Styles and Mysterio were either cut short or they didn't happen because I think Kurt Angle's also working hurt. That's one of the main reasons I think his last 2 matches either didn't happen or were cut short. But if the match happens between Angle and Corbin, if you don't put Angle over, you're going to take that crowd out of it real quick. You are.
That's where...
Did you see the Chicago episode of Raw where Angle mentioned that he was even facing Corbin? The crowd was dead for the rest of the night. Just based off the fucking mere mention of him going one-on-one with Baron Corbin in his final match. So you think Baron Corbin winning, clean, is not going to take the crowd out of it? It's going to take me out of it. Because I don't know if you've seen the video package they showed on Raw with Kurt Angle's career, but my God. How could you not
I mean,
get nostalgic and have an emotional moment with that.
I'm just saying,
One of the greatest of all time.
If you just want to even out the card and not make it predictable, that's how you do. You throw them a curveball in that match too. Throw a couple curveballs in this Mania. Honestly, that's how you make this Mania.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get a couple of curveballs. But I don't want to see Kurt Angle losing to Baron Corbin in his final match. That would leave a very bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And
yeah, but it's also
it would be well, I mean, I wouldn't. I could see it happening because Kurt Angle was announced for StarCast, which is an AEW sponsored event. He's not wrestling. He's just showing up, sign autographs, kind of like it's like their version of Access, I guess.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle was announced for it, as well as The Undertaker. Yeah, they're both going to be. The Undertaker and Kurt Angle are both going to be at StarCast. Which is pretty crazy to think about. But, and The Undertaker is also not being, what's the word I'm looking for here? He's not being promoted as The Undertaker. He's being promoted as the Dead Man. Because I guess The Undertaker is a WWE trademark, so he can't use that. But, again, we're getting fucking totally off topic here. And we only have one more match to go over. And that's the main event. Between...
Finally, I gotta say that without saying, fuck, we got one more match.
I know. So we got Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair. There's only one winner here that's going to make anybody happy, and it's Becky Lynch.
That's how you end the show.
That's who I think's going to win.
That's how you end.
That is how you. It is.
That's how that main event goes. That's the only way to write the story well and tell the story to the end. That's how you tell it from fucking SummerSlam all the way to the fucking WrestleMania. The story started with fucking Becky Lynch.
And it started with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, with them turning. And then it kind of transitioned into Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. And then, of course, Becky Lynch got injured. And then Charlotte came in. And then she got put into this. But then she kind of got taken out of it because she didn't win the Royal Rumble. And then she just got inserted into it because Vince McMahon. Golden Child, the Roman Reigns of the female division.
Yeah.
But I could see Charlotte Flair winning this match. I easily could see her winning this match. I could
too, but Becky Lynch, 100%.
To give Charlotte the fucking the right to say that she's the first fucking double champion in history.
Lynch,
but Becky Lynch is definitely the odds-on favorite.
Here's the thing, especially if Rollins loses to Lesnar, you can't have.
Oh, I know you can't have another babyface lose.
No, it's not even that you can't have another babyface lose. It's that you can't go 2 Manias in a row with both Royal Rumble winners losing.
That's true.
In a row. That's why you have to have one go over.
Exactly. And the Royal Rumble winners, as of late, have been absolutely feeling unimportant. I don't know how you feel about it, but when I think of Becky Lynch right now and Seth Rollins, I don't even think Royal Rumble winners. I forgot the Royal Rumble even happened. That's how unimportant they make that pay-per-view feel.
I mean, Becky Lynch kind of deserves it.
She won the Royal Rumble. She got suspended, got reinstated, got suspended again, and then had to earn her way back into the match that she already won at the Royal Rumble by having to beat Charlotte Flair, which was fucking lame. And the fact that Ronda Rousey came out and got Charlotte and disqualified. I mean, yeah, it plays into the story, but it was pretty lame. But
a big story.
It just goes to show you how unimportant the Royal Rumble was. The Royal Rumble has no factor in this match. It plays no factor whatsoever.
If you watch fucking...
Because technically, the reason she's in this match now is not because she won the Royal Rumble. It's because she beat Charlotte Flair at Fastlane, which is a pay-per-view that needs to go away.
I still think you need to fill a pay-per-view.
Yeah, like the Elimination Chamber. That's all you need. You got Royal Rumble, determines who's going to challenge for their respective titles in the main event at WrestleMania. And then you got Elimination Chamber, which helps create another strategic fucking match in which you determine who's going to challenge for the other titles. You don't need Fastlane. Fastlane can be gotten rid of, and you can make an episode of Raw and an episode of SmackDown feel like a pay-per-view. It's not that hard.
But Fastlane should be before.
Fastlane should just not even exist. We don't need that many pay-per-views to have a nice little 6-week build between Elimination Chamber, because then you have another pay-per-view that you have to build towards. Instead of building towards WrestleMania, which should be a 5 to 6 week build like it used to be.
Yeah, I know. I see what you mean.
I mean, back in the day, you had No Way Out happening like mid-February, and then that would transition into WrestleMania. And you would have about 5 or 6 weeks to tell your story from the last pay-per-view, which was No Way Out, till WrestleMania, and then you have WrestleMania happen. You don't need another pay-per-view to build towards, because then it takes away from WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Yeah, what was the last pay-per-view? What, 3-4 weeks ago?
Not even. Fastlane was what, two weeks ago?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. So you had 3 weeks, if it's even that, to build up between then and WrestleMania. I mean, yeah, you could say Fastlane's part of the WrestleMania build, but at the same time, it's its own pay-per-view, so it had its own build, which it doesn't need to be in there.
It should be more.
It's too much fucking exposure to people. It's also another show that you have to put on, and make sense of it.
I think you don't put title matches on Fastlane then.
You don't. That's why you should have a Super Raw and a Super SmackDown.
But why would you do like?
Because their ratings are already shit.
Yeah, but you don't need a Super Raw and a Super SmackDown. That's 2 shows a week. Yeah, you might as well just keep 1 3-hour pay-per-view. Look, you have a couple tag matches.
But if you think about it, you don't have that Super Raw and Super SmackDown. You still have an episode of Raw and SmackDown there. It's not like those episodes of Raw and SmackDown are not taking place. They're still taking place. Just make them feel important, and taking a completely unnecessary 3. Realistically, it was a 4-hour show. Fastlane was almost 4 fucking hours.
Yeah. So
you don't need it. So take Fastlane out.
But that's where you cut that down. You make it a 3-hour show.
No, you don't. You just get rid of it.
And you put it 2 weeks after the Elimination Chamber.
No, because then you got 2 pay-per-views in a row, and then it takes away the importance of pay-per-views.
But then you have a 4-week build-up. If they're gonna do it, then you have a 4-week.
You know, and deep down, there's no need for a Fastlane pay-per-view.
I don't think there is a Fastlane. There is a need for a Fastlane.
So it needs to just be canceled.
I think.
I don't know how we got into this topic. We haven't even predicted who's going to win this triple threat match, and here we are fucking talking about Fastlane. You did say Becky. Well, we did. Yeah, I did say Becky Lynch, but yeah, Ronda Rousey. As far as her chances of winning, I wouldn't say are slim, because I don't really know what she's doing after WrestleMania. She's probably going away for a little while. I haven't watched her YouTube channel. I'm not going to watch it, and if you went off the rumor, she's going away after a while. So if she's going away, obviously she's not winning. But if Ronda Rousey. But if she's not going away after Mania and she's sticking around for a little bit longer, then I could see her possibly fucking retaining. But that would be god awful.
I don't want to see
for her to win the SmackDown Women's title and have both belts, hold them both captive. I'm not interested in seeing that at all.
No.
I think Becky Lynch wins, and then then eventually she loses, and then when Ronda Rousey comes back, now that hopefully the women's divisions get merged, where they can fight on Raw or SmackDown, which I'm all for. It needs to happen because the women's division can't survive with 2 singles titles. It's too boring. And then you can also have an easy way of building horsewomen versus horsewomen, because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to happen at Survivor Series or if they're going to hold it off until next year's WrestleMania, but it's coming. It's definitely going to be Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, fucking... What the fuck's their other names? You got Jessamine something or...
Yeah.
And then some... Fuck if I remember. They were just on NXT TakeOver. Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir. There you go. Those are their names. Versus, obviously, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha. I'm into this match. I want to see it. When it's going to happen, I don't know. But when Ronda Rousey does eventually return, if she's going away, that's what they're going to be building towards next. And I think it's going to be a fantastic build. But as far as this match, Becky Lynch needs to go over. There's no other way to end WrestleMania.
No, 100%. That's how you end up for WrestleMania.
And
especially since the way last year's Mania's main event turned out, everybody's booing. Brock Lesnar's throwing his fucking title. Vince McMahon is so pissed.
So that pretty much wraps up our preview and predictions video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed me having a guest on. I'm sorry for the sound quality. I mean, I know it's not the best. Again, I'm not using the best microphone. I need to have my friends stop rocking back and forth in my fucking drumming chair, and I need to go out and buy a real mic. I have my eyes on one, a Yeti. It's like $200. Maybe I can use my employee discount to get it for like $130. I don't know.
And a new chair.
And another chair. That's my drumming chair. I'm not getting rid of that. I'll just get another chair. And then I'll have a proper mic and hopefully a camera, so we can actually be on camera and I don't have to put gameplay in the background.
True, 54 minutes and...
But, yeah, we're 54 minutes and 20 seconds in, so we can only go another 5 minutes and change. So we're pretty much going to end it here.
You can do my motto if you want with me.
What's that? Oh,
For bravery,
for bravery,
for honor,
for honor, for Scott. Okay, we'll end it with that.
Okay.
Well, we're not there yet. We still got like 2 more minutes of just closing this out.
Are you Scottish at all?
I'm Irish and partly Scottish. Yeah.
All right, if you're part Scottish.
I actually am part Scottish. I am
Right,
on my mom's
fine.
side.
That's fine. As long as you're Scottish.
But so that means we definitely want Drew McIntyre to win then.
Yeah. 100%.
So anyway, as far as this WrestleMania, as far as the hype and the excitement, my excitement level, if I had to rate it on a 1 to 10, just because I'm gonna be there, I guess it's at like probably like a 7 or 8, just because I'm gonna be there and I'm excited to hang out with my friends.
Until we get there.
But if I was watching this at home by myself on television, my fucking excitement rate would probably be around a 4. I'm really not that excited. There's only like 3 or 4 matches that even have my attention somewhat, and for a WrestleMania that's kind of unacceptable. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it could be a good show, but being 7 or 8 hours long, it's gonna wear you down.
Yeah, I mean, negative Nancy over here. If you ask me,
It's not being a negative Nancy. It's being a fucking realist.
I mean, I'm at 10 out of 10.
You're at a 10 out of 10.
I'm at it. Well,
you're exactly what WWE looks for.
When I walk into the stadium, I'm gonna be 10 out of 10.
Of course, you're gonna turn.
Right
yeah, exactly.
now,
I agree. I'm gonna
like,
turn into a little kid
I'm at like
again.
a 6 or a 7 right now, but honestly, I think the match card looks good. I think it looks promising, and if it's done right, it could be one of the best WrestleManias we've had in years.
It could be. It could be a decent WrestleMania.
On
It could.
Paper,
It has potential.
100% on paper, better than the last 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah, and I hope that the stage doesn't disappoint.
Oh,
I don't think the stage, because the stage for WrestleMania 33 was fantastic. The WrestleMania we went to in 29 was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, that's my favorite one. Between 33 and 29, those are my 2 favorite Mania stages.
I like the roller coaster.
Yeah, that was 33. Last year was okay with the Mardi Gras mask. 32 was pretty fucking lame for the big ass stadium they were in. It was just like a regular stage. It looked like it was more for a concert than a wrestling show. But
they had like that star above.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. And I most likely will be live streaming or at least making some makeshift videos from my phone while we're there. At least then I'll have a camera, so you'll be able to see my beautiful mug, as well as Kyle's and his 2 brothers that we're also going with. It'll be the 4 of us, and hopefully we can meet up with a few more people there and tailgate and drink some beer and get fucking hammered and hope to God that WrestleMania does not disappoint.
Yeah, 100%.
So with that, guys, I'm gonna end it here. And Kyle wants to end. Oh no, go ahead.
Support indie wrestling. Don't forget.
That's right. Support your local indie wrestling, even if you not. It's not. It might not be your thing, but how can you know if it's your thing until you try it?
Buy a T-shirt.
That's right. And tickets are usually pretty cheap, anywhere from $10 to $20. I mean, it's not a bad 3 hours to spend sometimes. Honestly, it's really not. Not to mention, a lot of indie shows have little fucking things that they use to promote it, like having ex-WWE guys there, so you never know who you might meet at your local indie show.
Nunzio, Roselle Park, New Jersey, April 13th.
I don't know if Nunzio's going to get anybody to come, though.
Nunzio's a big name.
Is he?
He's a nice name. He's ECW legend. Come on, he's working the E. Come on.
That's true, he has, but
he's a pretty big name.
That's true. I mean, he's not a notoriable one like a fucking Jim the Anvil Neidhart like when I went there one time, or... I guess he's better than Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. We're going to end with Kyle's little tag team slogan they got going here.
So for bravery,
for honor, for Scotland. I'm Danny Boy 908. He's Kyle Angus. And we're heading out of here, guys, and we'll see you at WrestleMania.
Happy WrestleMania.